بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين جل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علمك ورحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Bidayat al-Hikmah, al-Marhala al-Sabi'ah, 7th section, al-Fasl al-Tasi', chapter 9.
One was Juzaf and what was the other term?
Batil.
Batil.
Yeah, we had Juzaf, we had Batil, we had Qasd al-Zaruri, there are different types. Yeah. This chapter is about denying the existence of luck or chance. You know, sometimes in our common conversations, we say, I was lucky that this happened, this happened by chance. Yeah. So, for example, you say, in my garden, I was making a hole, for example, to plant a tree, and by chance I saw, for example, a treasure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or I was walking by chance, I saw my friend that I had not met 20 years. We call it by chance. But according to philosophers, there is no such a thing as chance. If you mean by chance something happened without cause. Yeah? We consider it to be chance because we are unaware. Okay? I was going from this route to my work. And I didn't know that my friend also is going somewhere that would cross the same route, and we will meet. But if I had complete knowledge, then I would have been able to know that this is going to happen. Yeah? Like, for example, those who are not familiar with rules of world, if they see there is moon eclipse, they may think it is chance, by chance. But those who are aware, they can predict it even. So, some people have thought that when we say there is ghaya for every motion and every fail, every haraka, every fail, this may be not true about cases that happen by chance. You want to dig something, for example, the soil to make a well, then you reach a treasure. They say, he didn't want to reach treasure. He didn't have intention of reaching treasure. Or, for example, someone goes to a house to use the shadow, but the wall collapses on him. And they say this happened by chance. We say, no, there is no such a thing as chance. The main thing is to remember. If you consider all the factors accurately, everything is necessary. You remember we used to say a lot, "Ash-shay'u ma lam yajib, lam yujad." Unless something becomes necessary, it doesn't happen. But if you have knowledge of all the relevant factors, if you have knowledge of complete cause, if you don't have knowledge of complete cause, you say most of the time this doesn't happen, but sometimes it happens. But if you go deeper and clarify when it happens and when it doesn't happen, you realize that then you have a kind of formula that in this condition, this happens all the time. In this condition, it doesn't happen all the time. But when you don't bring the condition, you say most of the time happens, sometimes doesn't happen. For example, you see some people have maybe 6 fingers in their hand. But most of people have 5 fingers. So some people say, okay, to have 6 finger is chance. But we say no. Maybe there was additional madde, additional material, and because of that, it became 6. Maybe there was something in, I don't know, DNA, something in development. But if that thing is there, always becomes 6. And if it is not there, always it's 5 or something, not 6. So you understand? For example, you say, I don't know why all my children, their eyes are brown. This one is blue by chance. But this is not chance. There must be a reason. Maybe there is something in your genes, a DNA for this, that if that becomes active, it always becomes blue. Is it clear? So, al-faslu al-tasi' في نفي القول بالاتفاق. This is in denying. Qawl means opinion. Opinion of those who say there is ittifaq. Ittifaq means coincidence in the sense of chance. Yeah? Ittifaq means sotfe, by chance, by coincidence. Means there is no reason for it. He explains himself. وَهُوَ انتفاء الرابطة بين ما يعد غاية للأفعال وبين العلل الفاعلية. And we mean by اتفاق, denial of relation between what is considered as غاية, end for actions, and علل فاعلية, the efficient cause. So the efficient cause didn't have this ghaya, and this happened. This is chats. He didn't have the intention of reaching treasure, but he reached. He didn't have the intention of meeting his friend, but it happened. Okay, this is the title. ربما يظن أن من الغايات المترتبة على الأفعال ما هو غير مقصود لفاعله ولا مرتبط به. Sometimes it is thought that among ends which follow actions, yeah? Because you remember we said illat ghaya is before action, but ghaya comes after action. Al-mutarattibati alal af'al. They depend, they follow action. Okay, ghaya comes afterwards. So sometimes it is thought that some of the ghayat, some of the ends which follow actions, ma huwa ghayru maqsudan lifa'il, are those things that are not intended by the agent. Wala murtabitun bihi, and it's not related to the agent, which means efficient cause. Okay? وَمَثَّلُوا لَهُ, and they mentioned as example for it بِمَنْ يَحْفِرُ بِئْرًا لِيَصِلَ إِلَى الْمَاءِ, the one who makes a well to reach water, فَيَعْثُرُ عَلَى كَنْزٍ, but then he would find treasure. Kanz, كنت كنزا مخفيا. So he wants to make a well for water, but now he reaches a treasure. وَالْعُثُورُ عَلَى الْكَنْزِ, to find treasure, لَيْسَ غَايَةً لَحَفْلِ الْبِئْرِ, digging the well was not something that would have reaching treasure as its end. It's reaching, who is digging well and finding treasure? It's not ghaya, it's not end for it, and it's not murtabitan bi, it's not related to it. وَيُسَمَّى هَذَا النَّوْعُ مِنَ الْإِتِّفَاقِ بَخْتًا سَعِيدًا. This type of coincidence or chance, which is good, it's good luck, it's fortune, they call it bakhtan sa'idan, happy luck, happy fortune. What they call it? Good luck. Fortune also, yeah. It can be also sometimes bad. وَبِمَنْ يَأْوِي إِلَى بَيْتٍ لِيَسْتَظِلَّ. And means مَثَّلُ بِمَنْ. Okay? They mentioned also as example someone who takes refuge with a house. لِيَسْتَظِلَّ. So that it can shadow. For example, you are traveling in desert, it's very hot, you find there is a house, empty house, abandoned house. You go there to have a little shadow. But فَيَنَّهَدِمُ عَلَيْهِ. Then it collapses on him. Okay? So, فَيَمُوت. He dies. So it was a good chance for the house not to collapse on nothing. But for this person was bad luck. Yes. يسمى هذا النوع من الاتفاق بختا شقيا. Shaqi is opposite to Sa'id. Yeah? Bad coincidence. No, but it is Shaqi, it's bad. It's unfortunate. It's bad. Yeah? Shaqi. We have, for example, السعيد سعيد في بطن أمه والشقي شقي في بطن أمه. Have you heard this? Hadith. السعيد سعيد means someone who is going to be happy, means be a good person, reaching felicity, is happy from the womb of his mother. Either meaning that there is great role for tarbiyah and especially mother, or it means that it is known who becomes good or bad. In any case, it shows great role of mother and upbringing and family. السعيد سعيد في بطن أمه والشقي شقي في بطن أمه. So Shaqi is opposite to Sa'id. Sa'ada, Shaqawa. We have also, the Ashqa al-Ashqiya. Rasulullah said to Imam Ali that you would be stricken. وعلى ذلك بنى بعض علماء الطبيعة. Some of the scientists of nature, some physicists, they have based on this idea كينونة العالم, creation and formation of this universe. They say it is based on chance. They say there is no designer, creator who created this world. It was a chance, it was an accident, it was explosion. فقال, they said this. They said, إن عالم الأجسام. This is even from the time of Greek, philosophers. إن عالم الأجسام مركبة من أجزاء صغار ذرية. They said this world of physical objects is compound of parts which are small and dharri, particles. You have very small dharra. So this world comprises of very small particles مبثوثة في خلأ غير متناهي, which are scattered in an infinite vacuum. So we have vacuum, but inside that vacuum these particles are spread out. وهي دائمة الحركة, and they are always moving, going around. فاتفق. It just happened that by chance some of these particles hit each other, loved each other, decided to be together, and then we have, for example, water, tree, human beings, things like this. Just happened. فاتفق and تصادمت جملة منها. It happened that some of them hit each other. فاجتمعت, then they became a compound, got together. فكانت الأجسام, that it became physical objects. فما صلح للبقاء بقي, whatever could remain remained. وما لم يصلح لذلك فنا سريعا أو بطيئا. What was not able to remain, sooner or later, faster or slowly, finished. This, was dissolved. Bati means slow, sari means quick. Okay? So just by chance, no one designed these things. وَالْحَقُّ, but the right opinion, the truth is this. الاتفاق في الوجود. There is no coincidence in existence. وَلْنُقَدِّمْ لِتَوْضِيحِ ذَلِكَ مُقَدِّمَةً. In order to explain this, we mention a muqaddama, an introduction. So first we mention an introduction, then we make the conclusion. هي أن الأمور الكائنة يمكن أن تتصور على وجوه أربعة. Whatever exists, you can consider 4 types or 4 options, 4 conditions for them. Sometimes they are دائمي الوجود. منها ما هو دائمي الوجود, means they always exist. دائمي means always, eternal. منها ما هو أكثري الوجود, they exist most of the time. Okay? For example, to have 5 fingers, is it da'imi or akthari? Is akthari, because there are people who have less or more, yeah? منها ما يحصل بالتساوي, and sometimes it's equal, 50-50. For example, to sit or to stand. You cannot say most of people are sitting or most of people are standing. وَمِنْهَا مَا يَحْصُلُ نَادِرًا وَعَلَى الْأَقَلِ. This is the opposite to the second. Second was most of the time happens. Fourth is most of the time doesn't happen. In less, situations it happens. First was daimi. Daimi, aksari, musawi, aqalli. And opposite to daimi is never. We don't mention never because we are talking about beings. Yeah? Pardon? Yeah. Rarely is the fourth. Yeah? Rarely happens. 50-50 equally happens. Most of the time happens. Or always happens. So there are 4 types. If it never happens, then it's not a being. Okay? وَمِنْهَا مَا يَحْصُلُ نَادِرًا وَعَلَى الْأَقَلِ. Rarely happens. كَوُجُودِ الْإِصْبَعِ الزَّائِدِ فِي الْإِنسَانِ. To have additional finger in human beings is rare. To have proper number 5 is most of the time. Okay? Al-amru al-akthari al-wujud. Okay, now in daimi al-wujud we don't have any problem. When people say it was chance, when something most of the time doesn't happen, pardon? When something most of the time doesn't happen, they say it's chance. So we say, okay, when something most of the time happens, it must have a reason. And if it doesn't happen, rarely it has a reason. If you don't know the reason, or if you don't consider the reason, you think, why sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen, maybe there is a chance. But if you know, you say, no, there is no chance. There is a reason for it. Al-amru al-akthari al-wujud يفارق الدائمي الوجود. What happens most of the time, okay, is different from what is happening all the time. بوجود معارض. It's different because of existence of something, a being which is conflicting. There is an obstacle. يعارضه في بعض الأحيان, which would conflict with it in certain times. So when that obstacle comes, this doesn't happen. Most of the time there is no obstacle. You remember we had also this before, that al-qasru la yakunu da'imiyan wa la akthariya. Qasr cannot be most of them or all the time. So this thing which is most of the time happening, it has a mu'ariz, that if that mu'ariz happens, this doesn't happen. If that mu'ariz is not there, it definitely happens. كعدد أصابع اليد, like number of the fingers of hand. فإنها خمسة على الأغلب. Most of the time, أغلب means majority of cases, most of the time, the number of fingers is 5. وربما أصابت القوة المصورة للإصبع مادة زائدة صالحة لصورة الإصبع. Sometimes that faculty, that thing which creates, gives form to fingers, has found some material extra that could make finger. فَصَوَّرَتْهَا إِصْبَعًا, so made it a finger. Maybe a better example is, because a finger nowadays, because we know genetic, it's not explained it maybe differently. But sometimes you see you have injury, and then when it is healed, you have extra flesh, yeah? There's extra, pardon?
Kilo.
Yes. Most of the time you don't have that. But it seems that because there was additional, material, it became like this.
That's called a keloid.
Keloid?
Keloid,
yeah. Or maybe another example, maybe this, my example, of course, is very simple example. Like, for example, you are at home baking your bread. Okay? Normally, because you are 4 people, you make 4 bread. Or chapati, yeah? So you make 4 chapati. But sometimes when you make the paste, you have extra, you make 5 chapati. Because you had something extra. But this is not chance. Because you had extra. Whenever you have extra, you make 5. And if you don't have extra, you don't make it 5. Yeah? So everything has a reason for it. But if you just consider it very vaguely, you say, most of the time 4, sometimes 5, we don't know why. But if you go closer, وَمِنْ هُنَا يُعْلَمْ, from this is understood أَنَّ كَوْنَ الْأَصَابِعِ خَمْسَةً مشروط بعدم مادة زائدة. To have 5 fingers is conditional upon having no additional material. وأن الأمر بهذا الشرط, and the situation, the affair, with this condition that you don't have extra material, دائمي الوجود, then it will be always 5. Yes? If you bring this condition that there is no additional material, is it possible not to have 4, 5 and have 6? No. When you don't bring the condition, you put it vaguely, you say sometimes it can be 6, but most of the time it's 5. But when you analyze it, you realize the reason it is 6 is because there was additional madde. So we say, if there is no additional madde, Is it always 5 or most of them 5? It's always 5. أن الأمر بهذا الشرط دائمي الوجود لا أكثرية means لا أكثرية الوجود. It's always happening, not most of the time. وأن الأقلية الوجود, and then the one which happens rarely, like having 6 fingers. With this additional madde, that becomes da'imi. It's rare if you consider it as a whole scenario, about all people. But if you consider
individual
with additional madde, it always becomes 6. وأن الأقلية الوجود مع اشتراط المعارض المذكور أيضا دائمي الوجود لا أقلية. The one which rarely happens, with that condition that you have something conflicting, which is to have additional material, it becomes always like this, not rarely. وَإِذَا كَانَ الْأَكْثَرِيُّ وَالْأَقَلِّ دَائِمَيْنِ بِالْحَقِيقَةِ. When أكثري can become دائمي, أقلي can become دائمي, even those which are equal can become دائمي. So with one condition it is this side, if that condition is not there, it's this side. So this is not the 50-50. If you look at it vaguely, it's 50-50. If you bring details, it's 100% this or 100% this. Necessarily this or necessarily this. Yeah? فَالْأُمُورُ كُلُّهَا دَائِمِيَّةُ الْوُجُودِ. All affairs, all things are da'imi, are always happening. Jariyatun ala nizamin thabit. According, jari means they flow, they carry on according to a fixed system. La yakhtalif, which doesn't differ, wala yatakhallaf, and does not disobey, does not deviate. Means it always happens. Because as we said before, ash-shay'u ma lam yajib lam yujad. There is necessity always. When you don't know, you think it was by chance. Okay. وَإِذَا كَانَ كَذَلِكَ. Now that you understood this, this is muqaddama, yeah? This was introduction. فَلَوْ فُرِضَ أَمْرٌ كَمَالِيٌّ مترتب على فعل فاعل ترتبا دائميا. If we suppose amrun kamali, an affair or something which is a matter of perfection, a matter of, kamal means perfection, a good thing, which depends, which follows the action of the agent, tarattuban da'imiyan. Always, all the time this comes. Okay. La yakhtalif wa la yatakhallaf. It doesn't differ and it doesn't rebel or disobey. It means always this must happen. Okay. If we consider such a thing that always comes after this agent's action, what would your aql make out of this? Aql says that there must be a necessary relation between this action and that end. حكم العقل حكما ضروريا فطريا بوجود رابطة وجودية بين الأمر الكمالي المذكور وبين فعل الفاعل. Intellect would make a necessary judgment, which is fitri. If you remember, we said daruri means badihi. And badihiyat are how many types? 6 types. Yeah, badihiyat. There are awwaliyat, there are fitriyat, there are mujarrabat, hadsiyat. So, mashurat. one of them is فطريات, which is قضايا قياساتها معها. Those propositions that as soon as you think them, the proof for them comes to your mind. You don't need to look for it. You don't need to investigate, to collect information. قياساتها معها. So, aql would make an obvious, self-evident judgment that there must be رابطة وجودية. There must be existential connection بين الأمر الكمالي المذكور, that thing which was perfect, a matter of perfection, and the action of the agent. This action is always leading to that end. So there must be a relation. Why this always leading to that? رابطة تقضي بنوع من الاتحاد الوجودي بينهما. This relation, that this action always leads to that end, is a matter of an existential relation, that intention of the agent in his action always ends there. This is غاية. هذا هو الغاية. غاية is the end of the action, end of the motion. So if Mr. So-and-so or any natural agent, the action always ends somewhere, there must be a reason, there must be existential relation. So that is غاية for this fa'il. لو جاز لنا أن نرتاب في ارتباط غايات الأفعال بفواعلها مع ما ذكر من دوام الترتب. If it was possible to question, to doubt relation between fa'il and an end which always comes after the action of that fa'il. If someone can question this, people can then question existence of illat fa'ili. As you know, there are some people who say, like, for example, Hume doesn't believe in Aliyah. Or, there were people who were called occasionalists. They didn't believe in Aliyah. They say, just, this is the norm, that when there is fire, there is burning. But fire doesn't cause burning. Even Ash'ari had this. They had the idea of Adatullah Jarat. Adatullah Jarat. They say God creates fire, God creates burning. Separately. But it is the habit of God that creates fire and burning together. It's habit, but sometimes also doesn't create them together, like Ibrahim. Allah created fire but didn't create burning. So even they denied causality. David Hume denies causality. But we say it's impossible. As we said before, how can mumkinul wujud happen without cause? Because mumkinul wujud has equal relation to existence and non-existence. And there must be an external factor that our aql cannot accept tarjih bila murajjih. We cannot accept that one side becomes dominant without any reason. لو جاز لنا, if it was possible, it was acceptable. Jaza, it's not fiqh. In philosophy, when we say jawaz, it's not jawaz in fiqh. In philosophy, jawaz means imkan, possibility. If it was possible for us to doubt the relation between ends of actions and their agents, despite this dawam that we mentioned, that all the time this action leads to that end, if someone was able to deny this, then it is also possible to deny relation between actions and their agents, efficient cause, or to deny توقف الحوادث والأمور على علة فاعلية, that events and incidents need علة فاعلية, efficient cause. Why? Because even in the case of illat fa'ili, what do we have? Is ليس هناك إلا ملازمة وجودية وترتب دائمي. Because over there also we have an existential relation that always happens. ومن هنا ما أنكر كثير من القائلين بالاتفاق العلة الفاعلية. This is why most of the people who believe in ittifaq, they have denied illat fa'ili. They say it happens without illat fa'ili. كما أنكر العلة الغائية. They also deny illat gha'i. Say there is no purpose, there is no end. وحصر العلة في العلة المادية. You know, this materialist, they say there is no gha'i, illat gha'i, there is no illat fa'ili, it's only illat maddi, the material cause. وستجيء الإشارة إليه. Inshallah, this will be discussed in the next chapter. فقد تبين من جميع ما تقدم. So from everything that we have said so far, it has become clear أن الغايات النادرة الوجود, those ends which are rare. نادرة الوجود means they exist rarely, yeah? المعدودة من الاتفاق, which are counted as coincidence. غايات دائمية, they are always happening. دائمي means always, all the time. I don't want to say eternal, because daim sometimes eternal, but it means that all the time they happen. ذاتية لعللها, they are essential for their cause. If that cause is there, definitely this is there. وإنما تنسب إلى غيرها بالعرس. If you really you can define, identify what's the cause, it's 100% followed by that end. But you don't consider all things together and you mention part of it and then you say sometimes happens. وَإِنَّمَا تُنْسَبُ إِلَى غَيْرَهَا بِالْعَرَضِ. Then this is attributed to something other than the real cause by accidentally. So the real one is always the case, but you consider it to something else and then you say it's sometimes the case. This is the example. Al-Hafiru l-ardhin, the one who digs the soil or the land, tahtaha kanzun, beneath that land is treasure. Please answer me. If you dig, go down, in the ground under which there is treasure, do you sometimes reach treasure or all the time? All the time. If you dig and go deeper, if you have a land under which there is treasure, so always you reach. Like for example, if there is water, if there is water, you always reach water. We sometimes reach water, sometimes don't reach water because we don't know what is the situation. But when there is water, 100% you reach water. If there is no water, 100% you don't reach water. It's not by chance. فَالْحَافِرُ لَأَرْضٍ تَحْتَهَا كَنْزٌ, the one who digs the earth, underneath of that earth is treasure. يَعْثُرُ عَلَى الْكَنْزِ دَائِمًا, he would find treasure always. وَهُوَ غَايَةٌ لَهُ بِالذَّاتِ, and this is the end for it. Essentially, don't say he didn't know that, because we said ghaya is not needed to be intended or known. Ghaya is end of harakah. What is end for digging where there is treasure? Finding treasure. وإنما تنسب إلى الحافر للوصول إلى الماء بالعرز. So, accidentally you say the one who was digging for water found treasure. Because you don't bring the real one. The real one was that the one who was digging the earth which had treasure. You say he was digging for water. Okay, we say, okay, by chance became treasure. Yeah? So if you don't bring the real thing, all the details, you say by chance.
He did not have illatul ghaya.
Pardon?
He did not have illatul ghaya. He just got the ghaya.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't intend this, but that had the qaya. وكذا البيت الذي اجتمعت عليه أسباب الانهدام. The house that reasons for destruction, for collapse, has completed. And all the reasons that you need for collapse have completed. ينهدم على من فيه دائما. Always will collapse. If all the reasons that you need for collapse come together, it will collapse always. وهو غاية, and this is the end. للمتوقف فيه بالذات. Whoever stays in this house, essentially that would be his end. Yeah? But if you say this person wanted shadow, say, okay, for someone who wanted shadow, this is not always the end. But the one who is seeking shadow in such place always will be killed. وَإِنَّمَا عُدَّتْ قَايَةً لِلْمُسْتَظِلِّ بِالْعَرَاثِ. So essentially this is end for someone who is in that house. But for someone who is seeking shadow, who wants to take shadow, then we say accidentally this is his end. فَالْقَوْلُ. Now this is the summary of this sentence. القول بالاتفاق من الجهل بالسبب. To say that there is coincidence in the sense of having no reason, chance, luck, is because of not knowing the cause. Yes. When you don't know, you say it's by chance. Okay? So, Alhamdulillah, this finished. Now, we have to talk about illat suri and illat maddi, which are, because we said there are 4 types of illat fa'ili, illat gha'i, illat suri, illat maddi. And then we will also talk about those illat which are jismani. Sometimes illat fa'ili can be a material, physical thing. So I think maybe it's become too much for this session. We continue inshallah next week. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.